All right, we are live. Welcome back to the CosCast, episode 17. I am, as always, your host, Anita Pixiedust Cosplay. And with me, I have my wonderful co-hosts.
Annabella Cosplay.
And Enyassia Cosplay.
And also today we are joined by a very special guest from Fandomily Cosplay. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm JC, and I'm one of 4 members of Fandomily Cosplay. We are a family of cosplayers. It's my elder sister and her 2 children, and I'm honored to be here tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, we're very honored to have you. Yeah, if I seem a little bit distracted, it's because I just came in the door from celebrating my dad's 51-year birthday.
Woohoo!
So, woohoo!
My mother also has her birthday today.
Oh yeah, congratulations to your mother.
Well, thank you.
It's very kind of special. We're not going to get into that now because yeah. So this episode is primarily going to be about cosplay contests and judging of cosplay contests. And JC, I don't know if you've made any specific plans of how you want to approach the subject, or
I have some notes. I was hoping to have more questions from viewers, but I think the people who have the most interest in watching this cast are not really sure what to ask about.
Probably not.
They're not sure about what they are wondering about.
Well, we're gonna, ask you some questions and then let you talk a little bit. And if at any point during the show people have any questions, they can send them to us live through our Q&A app on Google+.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. So, we'll
that commentary on YouTube.
Yes. It's also possible to leave comments on YouTube, and we'll be checking YouTube throughout the show, just so you guys are asking something there. But first of all, let's kick it back with starting our regular schedule by asking, have you made any progress on cosplay this week?
I have ordered 2 wigs.
Ooh.
So, I'm gonna make my Dana Scully from X-Files soon, and I can't wait. I need a Mulder. So if anyone wants to be Mulder, please join me. Yeah, of course.
But I always say yes.
Or we could ask my husband if he could be Mulder. He has a little bit of beard going on, so.
Wow. And I also need my name tag laminated. I need an FBI tag, so.
Oh. I have a lamination machine, so.
And it's settled.
Yeah.
Good. Other than that, no. I'm planning to watch this movie tonight, so maybe I'll find a character I can make a humanoid cosplay out of. I don't know. We'll see.
Good. Enyassia, how about you?
Nope. I've been just too busy writing my bachelor assignment, writing day after day, each day, and last week just delivered it, so I'm finally some time off, so maybe I'll start some cosplaying progress soon.
Anita, I just have to say one thing, because I can only see you right now.
What?
Do you have your picture, maybe?
Are you sure that you haven't clicked my picture? Because I can see all of you.
Yeah,
Same
no.
here.
That is so strange. Because I can see all of you when you talk, so there's got to be something wrong from your side.
Maybe.
Well, let's just hope that everyone else out there doesn't just see me. That would be kind of boring.
Or not.
That depends on how funny I can be. Which is not that funny, really. I'm sorry to disappoint you. No, I honestly haven't done that much of cosplay progress either because I am in the middle of my exam period. And I got a B on my first oral exam. Yay.
Congratulations.
So I'm really happy about that. So only 2 to go. But I did receive a steampunk-ish corset that I bought from Corset Story UK on sale. It's like a brown brocade.
Ooh.
And it cost me £12.
Nice.
80% sale.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy about that. And hopefully I'll be able to do some work on my Steampunk fairy wings and actually finish them before Desicon. That would be nice.
One thing about your steampunk, I kind of looked through the closet for some period back, and I found an old dress of mine, which I think would be very nice if I could make some accessories. Maybe I can make some kind of a steampunk too.
Ooh, that would be really cool. We could be Steampunk fairies together.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
And JC, how about you?
Well, I'm busy making my NCC costume. So the last couple of weeks I've been working on my baby.
Wow.
Just a couple more layers of paint and I'll be done with it. So
that's from Destiny, right?
Yep.
I thought it
so
was
awesome.
the white. I thought first it was the white tree of Gondor that you had made on the top of it. So I was like, what? What's anyone in the Lord of the Rings with that kind of helmet?
No, exactly.
It looks awesome.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
does. We're very much looking forward to seeing the finished results and, we're rooting for you for the NCC.
Thank you.
And for those of our viewers who might not know what the NCC is, it is the Nordic Cosplay Championship, which JC qualified for at Desicon Cosplay in Japan?
No, Metrocon.
Oh, Metrocon, yes. And are there several people representing Norway, or are you the only one?
No, there are 3 from every country. So there is the Teddy Fuzzy Inn.
Ooh.
He's also one of the representatives. And then there is June Tveit. She qualified at BonsaiCon just a couple of months ago. 1 month ago, sorry. Yeah.
Cool. Which means that you are a really good cosplayer.
Well,
You are allowed to say you are.
Yes. You're allowed to say yes.
Raise to the occasion.
And so let's just dig into our main topic of the day and maybe start with the contest side, participating. How did you first decide that you wanted to participate in contests with your cosplays?
Well, it's sort of just something I've done at every convention I've been at. The first 2 times, I'm not even going to mention, it sucked really bad. It was horrible. You have no idea. I just went on stage like a stick and waved and walked down, and I had no clue whatsoever. It was horrible. And then if I'm really bad at something, I either just stop doing it or I work to become really good at it. And since I wanted to continue to cosplay, I had no other choice than to try to become really good at the performance part. I think it's really fun to perform, and I like I like performing.
Yeah.
One thing I can say about that is that if you have some bad experience in something, you cannot do it any badder. So then everything after that will be like positive experiences, I guess.
Yeah.
And then at least you learn from it.
Yeah, you have to learn from your mistakes.
Yep.
No matter how horrible they are.
That's really, really true.
Okay, I just popped in my headset just to make sure we don't have any feedback.
Good.
So the first time was awful for you, but once you got into it, I'm assuming it got better. So what are the most important things that you think people need to do when preparing to participate in a cosplay contest?
Well, first you need to have a costume. So,
that is true.
obviously. There are two main parts to competing. It's the costume itself and the performance. So you can be really good at one of them, but you have to be tolerably good at both to compete and get to the final rounds and so on. You can be the best seamstress in the world, but if you can't perform, then you will probably not be very good at the competitions.
Exactly. You need to have charisma.
It helps.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a lot of charisma, you can fake it. You just need to, make a good routine and, do it. Commit.
That's true. Then you need to have some acting skills. So either learn acting skills or just have natural charisma.
It's like self-confidence. I often have met cosplayers who want to compete or just tried out once or twice, and they always say, I don't have the confidence to go on stage, and I just get scared and nervous, and you can see that on stage. It's very easy to see if someone doesn't feel comfortable on stage. Like my first 2 times, it was terrible. But you can absolutely fake it. If you just act like you have all the confidence in the world, it will show, and you can be shaking on the inside, but the audience will perceive you as very self-confident.
Yes, for sure. I'm always nervous when I have to go up on a stage and sing or act or, do cosplay stuff. But if you just, put it to the back of your head and remember, okay, I have some things I need to do, remember to smile and don't, second guess yourself, then usually it turns out all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And that's where it helps that you're actually in a costume, because you can, if you consider yourself as someone with low self-esteem, perhaps, then you can, when you take on the costume, you can take on the personality of that person as well. So if you, like when I was cosplaying Maleficent, I owned that stage. It was mine.
You bitches are below me.
I was shaking so bad before that performance. I don't know why. I was so scared. But I owned that stage because that was my cosplay.
Exactly. And that is a very, very important quality to have.
Yes, for sure. So what do you, I mean, some competitions, they want you to make like folders with pictures of the character you're cosplaying and details about how you made your costume and which parts are bought and which are made by you and stuff. Now, have you ever had to do that?
If I've been in a competition where I had to have a list?
Yeah, hand in a folder with all this information and really prep.
Well, normally when you go on the internet and you fill out this form to sign on the competition, then you have to normally you have to say how much is made, like a percentage perhaps, or just comment what has been bought. And normally the competitions, they want that most of the costume is made. If you are competing internationally, you have to have everything made yourself.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good to know. I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't know that.
No.
But when you're competing at like local contests, like let's say Desicon Fantasy or whatever, how important is it that everything is made by you then?
It's not mandatory that everything has to be made, but it's always a plus if as much as possible has been made. That's like the judges make a plus, or rather they can give you a minus if important things are bought, especially things that are easy to make. Just come off kinda lazy that you didn't make it. Like if you make this really impressive armor and then you didn't even bother to sew the tights. That's easy, kind of. It depends how much of the tights you see in the costume, of course, but it could be a minus.
Yeah, but like I have noticed that sometimes maybe judges are giving pluses to things that look really amazing and maybe stuff that is really, really, really well made and sewn really good doesn't really get as much attention as the bigger costumes. Does that depend, like, from judge to judge, or?
Yeah, judges look for different things. However, I find that every time I've been a judge, we pretty much agree on what we think is good and not so good. But like the Swedish championship that was this winter, I was watching it with my husband, and he was so impressed by these huge armors. Like, did you see the competition? There were these gigantic armors, and he was like, "Oh, he's gonna win! He's gonna win!" And I said, "Nah, you haven't seen them up close. You can't know that for sure." and they didn't win. And the same with the last Euro cosplay. The winner of the last Euro cosplay wasn't like perhaps the most impressive scene on the screen on a distance, but the judges, they get to really go close to the costume and lift skirts and look at the seams and everything, so they see every detail, and we never see that as an audience. We never see how perfect things are on close up.
Yeah. So actually the inside of the costume counts a lot, not just how it looks on the outside.
Well, that also depends on like at Desicon, it might not be as important as the NCC. I know for a fact that at the NCC, they are going to look inside everything. Okay, did you paint inside? Did you like isolate? Did you do this and that? Things that you don't normally have to think about at Desicon, for example, the smaller Norwegian conventions. So it depends on how big the competition is.
No wonder no Norwegians win cosplays in other countries then.
Don't say that.
We might just win. Maybe this year. You never know.
James seems to have like control over it and knows about the inside peeking, so it might go our way this year. Who knows?
We have a viewer question, by the way. This is from Lindis on YouTube, and she wonders, JC, how do you prepare for the stage performance? And she also says, love you, smiley face.
Normally, when I start making a costume, I already have a picture of how the performance will be. And I kind of plan it while I'm making it, because that motivates me. I try to think about what would be a good scene from the game or the TV series or the movie. Something that is emotional. It can be funny, it can be scary, it can be arousing, anything, just to make the audience feel something.
Yeah, you want a reaction. That's really
you need
clever.
a reaction, and that's the way you make sure the judges and the audience is going to remember you when you get off stage. If you didn't make a reaction, then they will not remember you as well.
I have actually seen 2 of your performances, and I think both of them include exactly what you've said just now. I saw your skit with Teddy Fuzzy In from oh my god,
Dragon Age.
From Dragon Age
2.
Yeah, but Bonsaikon, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, because the Fuzzy Teddy and he was Hawk, and you were... Who are you again?
Fenris.
Yes, Fenris, yes. Which is an awesome cosplay, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
And also I saw your group performance with the whole Fandomily from Desicon Fantasy. It was also really funny.
That was totally improvised, though. We had no clue what to do when we went on stage, so everything was just, yeah.
But then you see how you can work with your character and use like the personality from the character that you are performing as, and that's really important. But I guess it's much easier when you have the costume on to just become the character.
Exactly. I go all in.
Yeah, but I think that's a main key, whether it's, you know, competitions or just in life in general, is to commit to what you're doing, because if you don't, it's going to be sort of half-assed. Yeah.
But to get to Lindis's question, how do I prepare? I think practice is underrated. You need to practice. You need to practice it so much, because if you get stage fright, if you get nervous when you go on stage, the only thing that is going to save you is that you have practiced it. You could do it in your sleep. That's how well you have to do it. And then you can improvise these little things, but you won't get set back if you forget one line or if you stumble on something. You won't lose your way. You'll still be able to get through it. So that's important.
Yes, know it by heart, as they say. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So how did you get into being a judge? How did that happen?
I was asked to by someone I knew to judge at Archon last year, and then Desicon, I was asked by Greta to be a judge there.
Which is Vez Cosplay, which we've also had on the show.
Yes, the wonderful Vez. So I was actually a judge both days on Desicon 9 last year. I was just asked, and I just said I would be interested, because I love to be a part of the competition. I don't have to be on stage performing. I just love to be in some part of the competition, because I love cosplay competitions. I think they are wonderful, and as a judge, I really enjoy, first of all, really looking at the seams. People that know me know that I have a real fetish for seam work. I love seams. So if you're a judge, you can really go and look at the seams.
You have an excuse to touch people.
But the second part is that I think it's, as a judge, you have a unique position to build up other cosplayers. You get to motivate them and give them positive feedback and constructive feedback. And I think one of the best things as a judge is that during this pre-judging or backstage judging is that I get to, well, normally they can come and they feel a bit small because they're going to be judged, but if we get to raise their self-confidence as much that when they walk away they have their shoulders high, they feel proud about their costume, that's so amazing. So that's my favorite part about being a judge.
That's really, yeah, it is. But it's important too that you are a fair judge and that you actually use your position to make other people feel good about themselves.
Yeah. It's important.
So when you're supposed to be a judge, is there some type of preparation you have to do before the convention? Like, you know, I think read through all the papers that have been sent in or something?
Well, normally we don't get anything to evaluate beforehand.
Okay.
It depends on the convention, but normally we have no clue.
Right.
We get a list perhaps an hour before. But when I was a judge at the Fredrikstad Science Fiction Festival, I asked to get the list with the pictures a day before, and it made it a lot easier because then I knew I could check up a bit on the characters so that I had some knowledge about them, because normally the judges don't have a clue who your character is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Especially if you're cosplaying something from some what's the word I'm looking for? Obscure manga or anime series, because there are so many, and can't keep track of them all.
No.
But I guess it's kind of also fair towards the competitors that you don't get to see too much before the actual competition, just so you don't have any favorites before you begin.
Oh, I don't think you do. Not based on the list of the characters. I think no matter how you prepare or not prepare before judging, you still feel a bit wow when you see this character coming towards you. And that's really cool too.
I think it's important that you kind of know the character that you are judging.
Yeah.
So you can judge it by, like, you know, tics or movements or way of walking or way of talking. If it's
I don't
not
think
just
the
like
judges will know the characters that well, but it's good to just to know like what sort of universe they are from.
exactly.
Yeah, know what we're comparing.
Yeah. But you know, most Norwegian cons, they have you can what do you say? You can sign up until the same day, so that way you don't have time to prepare because you can just enter the competition the same day, just a couple of hours before the first round or the pre-judging. So the con doesn't really have a finish list to give out until just then and there.
But I guess most places you have internet and smartphones, so you can, if it's necessary, Google a character, I guess.
Yes, you could. I don't think judges normally do because there's a lot of things going on when you're at the convention.
Exactly.
We have another viewer question. This is from someone with the nickname Swift Knight, and she says, or he says, "Love your work, JC. Huge fan. I am working on my cosplay for Dezucon in this very moment. I wanted to ask you, do you have any tips for how to seem proud and somewhat intimidating on stage?"
How to seem proud and somewhat intimidating on stage?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, posture is important. Yeah. Like shoulders back, straighten up, and the more straight and the bigger you make yourself, the more you're going to own your space and own the stage. And then you can, well, look a bit arrogant.
Yeah, like keep your head up a little bit, like I'm not going to acknowledge you down there.
Yeah. If you're going to cosplay someone who is a bitch, then you just have to tell yourself and project, I hate you guys. I hate you guys. I hate everyone here. I hate you. Why are you here? Just think it in your back of your mind and you will project something of it.
Yeah. I have a thing that I call the bitch smile, which is sort of like this exactly. Sort of smirk, like, yeah, I'm better than you and I know it. So, but if you're like a big, huge, like, if you're supposed to be like a huge warrior, it would probably be, you know, more intimidating if you made your movements seem big and heavy and, you know, kind of clunky, because that would be intimidating. So it kind of depends on what kind of character you are. If you're a female and kind of light, sexy character, or if you're a big hulking war machine.
I would look at video and pictures of the character, and if there is video, then you're set. And just really study how they behave, and if this character doesn't behave as intimidating as you will want to be on stage, then you can watch other characters who are intimidating and self-confident and just try to imitate how they move around. And well, I have this thing about my eyebrows. They are not intimidating. So usually if I am going to cosplay a villain or something, I have to use makeup to make them deeper and straighter so that they will look more intimidating, because I really
maybe
don't.
Maybe arch them a little bit.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, mine aren't that intimidating either. Mine are pretty even. So if I am to look villainous, I will have to do this. Maybe glue my forehead up or something.
Just remember that on stage, your makeup and your posture is not going to be as visual to the audience. because they can be seated way back. So if you are going to project this intimidation, you have to overact it, but not too much. Not so much that it will become a comedy.
Well, big clear movements, I would think, you know.
Big movements. Big movements. So you can overdo it just a little bit. It can look silly in the mirror, but it won't look silly to the audience. Use the stage. Move around. Don't hide at one spot. Move around the stage. Own the stage.
Those are very good tips. I hope Swift Knight got what she wanted from that, or him. Don't know if it's a him or a her. It. Yeah. So what do you look for in a cosplay? I mean, what makes a cosplay score high on your list?
Yeah.
Yes,
I've already noted that down. I need to start practice right away.
Well, like I said, there's more or less two main things about judging. There's the quality of the costume, and there is the performance part. And if we can talk about the costume first.
Yes.
You look for the how much you look like the character. Now you can cosplay a character that has a totally different body type, facial structure, and so on. It's not that important. It's not that kind of likeness that we're looking for. If you have another type of body or face, then we're going to look at how you modify that costume to fit your body type, and that's more important than trying to squeeze into something that really isn't your body type.
Exactly.
So likeness to character is more like what kind of colors, what kind of fabric, and what kind of how you chose to make the seams. Not every costume has visual seams. Well, normal clothes have to have seams and zippers and buttons and so on. So we're looking for like the whole likeness.
Attention to detail, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm wondering of one thing though.
Yeah.
If like I wanted to cosplay an Asian person or an African person or a Spanish person, because how do you judge that? Do you kind of look over that kind of racial thing, or
beyond ethnicity?
Yeah.
Well, many are cosplaying characters that are Asian, so that's easy. I have never been in a situation with someone who is cosplaying someone who is clearly African American, for example, with dark skin and so on. So I haven't been in that situation. I think I would not spend too much time on the skin color and such. I would look at the costume, and I would look at how you had adapted your face. It didn't have to look African American, but you could have done something with the makeup to kind of blend it towards that direction without going all the way. I don't know if that's clear.
I kind of get what you mean. I mean, it's about creating an illusion of making your face look like that character, but necessarily not the same skin color.
Exactly. You don't have to make yourself look African American to make yourself look like that character.
Exactly. So if I wanted to be Tiana from The Princess and the Frog, I could do that even though I'm white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still do the makeup.
Of course.
Yeah, and I've seen actually someone try to cosplay one character from Walking Dead. Her name and she got
Michonne.
Michonne. She got very bad criticism because they said she was like making blackface and all that, even though she wasn't.
I mean, blackface is a derogatory statement because it means that you've made a comical, like a farce out of an African-American person's face. But what she did was clearly a tribute to that character, and she had really gone all in to make herself look exactly like Michonne. So I think a lot of people just misunderstood the whole term blackface.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the critics were cosplayers.
No, probably not.
No.
But let's move away from that.
Let's start a discussion about that. Sorry.
Okay, so to my list, we move on. The use of materials. Like, what kind of materials did you use? Why? Is it enhancing the costume in some way? Like at Fredrikstad Sci-Fi Festival, there was this slave Princess Leia, and Julia, her name was, and she had used these yoga mats, and she had found a sort of yoga mat that had really good patterns on it, and she used that pattern as detailing on her belt, which was very clever, so that was a plus. And then a judge may ask, why did you choose to use Vorbla? Why didn't you use this material instead? And then you can, if you have a good answer, that is a plus. If you don't have a good answer, that could be a minus. Doesn't have to be. But if you show that you have really thought about the materials you choose to use, then that is a plus. That means that you are good at planning. It's also a plus if you show a variety of skills. Like if you not only have a soon dress, but if you have, if you use if you have a really great wig that you have done something with, you have used casting, you have some armor pieces, some sewing, some makeup stuff,
jewelry.
Exactly. So the more variety of skills that you can show in one cosplay, that's a plus. You show that you master different materials and different skills. And then we also look at, like I said, the details. And if the contestant doesn't mind lifting her skirt for us, Best Cosplay did this in Fredrikstad, actually, just to show that she had actually made the underwear. Matching the dress. And we were like, oh!
Too much information!
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but where was I? Yeah, details. So, like I said, I love to see inside of the clothing, not necessarily taking them off, but if they have a jacket, then take the jacket off and let me see like the seams, just to see if you have bothered to do a real job and not just patchwork it together. And also just detail painting, highlights, yeah, everything. So we go really close up and look at every single detail, and then we step back and see the whole, like the likeness to the character and how does it all come together in the end. Yeah, so that's the costume. I don't think I've forgotten anything.
No, I don't think you have.
No.
What would I know?
But there's one thing that I'm really wondering about, and that is back to like preparing for competitions. Because there are different types of competitions and the rules are different. Sometimes you just go up and you just prance around with your costume, and sometimes you have to make like a routine and have sound or pictures and stuff like that. Do you have to like make your own soundtracks? Or of course you do.
Anything. You don't have to do anything. If I go to the other part then, performance. Because normally you have this catwalk or just this short walking on stage just to show off, if it's not all backstage, and then there are round 2 or finals where you actually have this show part. And like you said, you should ask the convention what sort of equipment they have available. Like, do they only have handheld microphones, or do they have these mosquitoes, like this you have over your ear?
Yeah, wireless.
And do they have sound? Do they have a screen? And what kind of screen? Is it a little screen here, or is it like a cinema screen in the back? All this is important, and then you have to adjust your performance accordingly. Now, you don't have to use video, you don't have to use pictures, you don't have to use this and that music, make it your own. That doesn't matter. But it could be a plus. If it helps your performance, then you should do it. If it dominates your performance, you should not do it. Like if you have this really awesome video in the background, then you will just drown as a contestant. They will remember the video, but they won't remember you. So you should be careful about using too much. But if there is a screen available, then you know that there will be contestants who are going to use that screen well. So you should use it for something. If it's just a still picture, doesn't matter. You can just use a still picture of a forest or a castle or something that goes with your character. And when it comes to sound, you can either use like just background music. It doesn't matter if you did a mix with sounds and voices or just have one track of music. It doesn't matter, as long as it helps your performance.
So if you want to be like Pocahontas, you can have a forest in the background and you can have like just bird sounds or something in the background, because that will help you perform, and it will also help the audience see the whole character and get the feeling, I guess.
And that example is a very good example, because that would not dominate your performance. If you only have this forest scenario with a forest picture and sound of birds, running water, and so on, then you are still going to be the most important thing that happens on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, sometimes I've noticed that certain cosplayers tend to try to do too much on stage. Like, they're 1 minute they're here, the other minute they're there, and yes, it's okay to use the stage, but, you know, they're just all over the place.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of detracts from their overall score, I suppose, when it's too long, too many things, too scatterbrained.
I'm very glad you said this, because one of the most important things about the performance is that, one, you have to have fun with it. You are supposed to have fun when you're doing the performance. But you are performing for the audience. So the audience has to be able to follow you and understand what is going on. They might not know your character or the universe, the series, or the game that that character is from. So you need to make the performance in a way that, like a stranger that has never heard of the character, can understand and follow and appreciate. And so the example that you came with, like overdoing, that's often someone who is just having fun for themselves. They are on stage for their own sake, and they are not considering that the audience has no chance of following what's happening.
Exactly.
So that would be, and like one judge said, the main question she asked herself was, "Am I bored right now, or am I confused right now?" So it has to be entertaining, and they have to be able to follow it and appreciate it, even if they have no clue what your character is.
It needs to be like a moment of excitement as well, I guess. A point of the whole thing. Like telling a joke, it needs to be like a good point at the end.
A punchline.
A punchline, yeah.
Something memorable.
Whereas opposed to me, I just tend to fade out. I am not a good joke teller. Well, you're laughing now, so I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be funny either.
No.
Just as long as you get that emotional reaction in the audience. Like my Maleficent performance at Toricon last year, that was not funny. And as I heard later on, most people did not know the film. They had not seen the film. So even though they knew the story of
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, thank you. I was about to say Cinderella. I did not do my Disney homework. So they knew the original story, but the film is something else completely. But every one of them said that they had goosebumps after And that's exactly what the performance was about. So it doesn't matter if you didn't know the film or the story, but I did give you goosebumps, and that's what got me the second place.
Nice, congratulations with that. But I also think, like you talked about earlier, that you need to have big movements, not small. Do not perform for yourself, because no one will see that. And you need to be clear on everything, not mumble.
And Enyassia, you've been kind of quiet so far. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to fill in with?
There's one thing. It's more like a rumor that some judges tend to favorize their friends. Do you? And I'm not asking if you do, but have you experienced something like that?
I think the judges I have been judging with have been really good at not favoring based on friendship or knowledge of the cosplayer. I think it's important that we always keep reminding ourselves and our co-judges about it, just generally. Because we might think that we're not, and we could still be doing it. If two cosplayers are tied in the competition, then that sort of thing might, I'm talking generally, it might favor one of them. But it really shouldn't. And the times that I have talked with my co-judges about it, we have been very clear on it. That has nothing to do with this competition. We are judging this cosplayer in this costume today. Doesn't matter what they've done earlier or if we have seen work in progress pictures or anything like that. It's just this is how it stands today in this competition right now.
Yeah, which is a very good rule to live by, I suppose, because it's not future, past, it's now.
I have been in a situation where I have been a judge and my sister was competing. So
that was tricky.
No, it really wasn't that hard. It wasn't, because we all agreed on like the normal criteria for costumes and performance and so on and so on. It wasn't really hard. It wasn't. But
we have a visitor. We have another question from a viewer. Marielle asks that she might be a judge for a small event soon. Any tips for a first timer?
Oy.
Themes.
Yes.
It's good to have chemistry with your co-judges. And by that I mean that you are comfortable with being honest with each other, and that might include saying, nope, you are completely wrong. I do not agree with this. So you have to be prepared. It doesn't have to come to that, but it could be that you have to be able to see that you don't say that you don't agree. A judge that is not able to disagree is a poor judge. Because then you are just giving your vote to the most favorable judge or the most dominant judge, and there should be no one single dominant judge in a judging panel. Normally you are 3 or 4 people, and everyone's voice needs to be heard. So I think just prepare on being able to say exactly what you mean, even though it's something completely different from the other judges.
Yeah. And also, you've already gone through the things that you need to look at when you're judging, like use of material, adaptation to your body, and stuff like that. It's
skills.
A variety of skills.
Yeah.
So those are important things to look at, obviously, as you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, 2049, so we have 15 minutes left. We can talk a little bit more about the main subject, and then we can move over to our last segment of the show, which is, gaming and other geeky stuff.
Yay!
So, do you have anything, last thing you want to point out for us, JC? No pressure at all.
Well, I could finish my list real quick about the performances. Yeah, we already talked about entertainment value. I have written a blog post about this. I am going to share it with you. There we go. There's on our Fandomily Cosplay blog, I've written something about the performance. It's in Norwegian and English.
Cool.
And it's the things like that the performance is for the audience and you have to make it understandable and so on. Also,
So everyone run out and read that after the show.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. Also, there are these small details in the performance, like the body posture we already talked about, being straight, owning your space, being the personality of your character is really important, and also overdoing it a little bit so that the audience can see it, and move around on stage. Use the stage. Don't stand still or just cower in a corner.
I also think, just if I can throw in, read the rules. If you're gonna be, you know, a cosplayer on the stage, read the rules for the contest so you know exactly what you're supposed to do.
That's very smart. And don't think that, oh, I'm not going to go to the finals anyway, so I don't have to make a performance. You have to, because if you do go to the finals and you don't have something prepared, then it's going to be a bit awkward for you. So that's not good. That's my. I did that.
We live and we learn.
Well, if it happens, you can just pretend like you're suddenly got ill or something.
Yeah, you could.
Fake stroke or I don't know.
That's severe,
Jump
huh?
on the stairs when you go on stage. You fall on the stairs.
Don't fall. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Remember to lift your legs.
And
Yeah.
skirt, if you have one.
Yeah, of course.
And also, when you're going to a convention and you're doing an uncomfortable cosplay, don't wear the high-heeled shoes all day long. Wear separate shoes.
Lesson learned.
Because I remember a lovely scene with JC and her
And the
horrible
Hulk.
shoes.
The Hulk.
And the Hulk.
Carried from point A to point B was was nice.
My feet were 2 times the size when I got home, and I couldn't even fit them in my shoes anymore. My normal. The day afterwards too, they were so big. You have no idea. It was terrible.
Well,
So,
I
guys-
can understand why you couldn't walk.
Yeah. Cosplay isn't
They were
just
so
rainbows.
sexy.
Yeah,
Seriously, my feet.
But what I do realize is that we haven't shown any viewers any pictures of JC in her cosplay.
Oh my god, no, we haven't. We totally should. Give me a second, and I will do that.
No dirt pictures, please.
But no,
All the derps. All the derps.
all the
Oh, only dirt pictures. That's the only one. Here's JC in her bathtub. Here's no, I'm just kidding.
Where would I find
Really?
that picture? That's what I want to know.
In your dreams. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just being awkward. Sorry.
Yes, you're being very awkward. Stop it.
I'm sick. I don't know.
That is not an excuse.
Yeah. Taking a stroke right now.
Oh wow, this went into lunacy very fast. Very fast. Okay, well, we'll start with this one because I think it is so adorable. This is your
And sexy.
Ninetales cosplay, right?
Yeah.
Ninetales is actually one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So let's see what others. Do you have any favorites you want us to show the audience?
Oh, Fenris.
Oh,
Fenris, yeah.
Let's try to. There we go. Here's Fenris. This I think is a really good picture.
Yeah,
I'm wondering, what did you make your armor of? Like the breastplate?
Warbler.
It's this
It's
Warbler.
my first Warbler project, actually.
Wow, your first, really?
It is.
It looks really good.
Thank you.
And Fenris was also my biggest crush, like in Dragon Age 2.
I know.
I wanted to marry that guy. So here's some more Fenris because it's awesome.
What did you make your sword out of?
That is like yoga mats and Worbla, covered in Worbla. And some detailing, well, the red details is made of polymorph. So everything is Worbla except the red little thing there. Actually.
And also, I think we should definitely show everyone your Georgia, our Martin cosplay, because it's so funny.
It is. It's really creative. It's like easy, but extremely creative.
And I really like this one. I kill a stork. It was very.
That was hilarious. There were I've only used it at Toricon. I was in the costume contest with my Ninetales, and as soon as it was over, I went home and changed to Georgia because Ninetales is killing me, like seriously. And when I was going on stage to get my prize for the Ninetales, they were a bit confused because it was not Ninetales coming on stage.
This is not the costume we saw earlier.
No.
And this is your Maleficent that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, one of them. I made two. It's not
yes.
This
that
is the
one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I performed at Toricon with. I placed second, and the other one I made only for the judging at Desukon, actually.
Nice. But didn't you make the Maleficent really fast after the movie came out?
I started this one about the same time, I think. I spent 2 weeks on it. I spent 5 months getting the fabric. Oh my lord. It took so much time finding the right fabric.
And then this is the one you won your place for NCC with, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
So good.
Yes, this is awesome.
Sesomaru or Seshomaru?
Seshomaru.
Yeah.
Took me a while to learn to say it. I had not seen the anime, but my niece, who is also a part of Fandomily Cosplay, she made an Aurora for my Maleficent. And as a trade-off, I would make a character she loved, so I made Shashumari for her Rin. And we had this one at Metrocon.
And little did you know it would lead to a win.
I had no idea. Oh my goodness, I was so not prepared for that. Really.
Well, it just goes to show that, you know, you can win with pretty much whatever as long as it's a good cosplay. And, I mean, this you painted on the pattern by hand, right?
I did. I stayed up for 2 nights hand painting every single little silly red detail on that clothing.
Congrats to you.
Yeah, really.
For sure. But it's a really good cosplay. I really think you nailed the look.
Thank you. He was a very good example of trying to be masculine and intimidating. I'm neither. But it's all in the makeup.
And intimidating without being, you know, butch.
Yeah, I wasn't really butch. He is kind of feminine, but still he has a real stage presence. And he is intimidating, so I had to do a lot of work with my eyebrows and just really getting into character and just hating the guts out of every single people I could see.
It would be kind of nice to justifiably hate everyone.
Bow before me, I am the Deep Lord.
But you do have a lot of, like, evil characters.
I do. I have no idea why.
The bad guys are always the most interesting.
Yes.
Exactly.
And basically, if you're a nice person in general, which I'm pretty sure that you are, it's kind of fun to be the opposite of what you are.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I have the same thing. I went as a Sith. I am pretty much a Jedi on the inside.
A Jedi who wishes to be a Sith.
Oh.
Not to be a spoiled sport or anything, but we're
going over our time. But yeah, we'll do
like
the last,
always.
like always. But we'll do our last segment. We'll 5-10 minutes, and then we'll end it. We'll just go over time today. That's just how it's gonna be. So, guys, have you watched anything fun, geeky, or have you gamed anything this last week?
I started watching Daredevil today, so I haven't finished the first episode yet, but I'm gonna continue as fast as we're done with this. So far, it seems good.
Yeah, I liked it. I've watched the first season, and I think it's a good character arc.
I think so too. I haven't really done much besides that, because I have like this stack of papers that I need to go through.
Oh, the joys of being a teacher.
Oh yeah.
Well, since Friday, I have been pretty much gaming nonstop, only taking breaks to eat and sleep because I have The Witcher 3, and it's so good. It's orgasmically good. I wish I could marry Geralt of Rivia, seriously. And I want to cosplay all the female characters because they're just so kick-ass. And I can't even decide. I want to be Yennefer, and I want to be Ciri, and I want to be Kira Metz, and I want to be Triss Marigold. I just want to be them all.
Can we not talk about The Witcher anymore?
You have an issue?
I am not allowed to play The Witcher 3 until NCC is over, so please.
I'm sorry, but you have a lot to look forward to.
I know.
I'll leave it there. So how about you two, JC or Enyassia? Have you done anything fun?
Well, except from my bachelor, which was not fun. I've been watching Heroes on my fourth season right now. Very exciting show. And I've bought myself more books.
Ooh. R.A. Salvatore.
Yes, Companions Codex. And started reading the first one quite recently. This is my favorite.
Is that Fenris on the cover?
No, I think it's Drist to Urden.
Yeah, Dries Durden.
But it kind of looks a little bit like Fenris.
Oh yes.
I have a thing for male fantasy characters with white hair. So it's Geralt of Rivia, and it's Dante from Devil May Cry, and it's Fenris from Dragon Age, and it's Drizzt Do'Urden. Those are my favorite male characters.
Yeah. And my boyfriend also has bought Witcher 3, and I've been watching him play, and thinking, maybe I should cross-play Geralt. That will be cool.
That could be cool. I was thinking about maybe a gender bend Geralt, like a female Geralt. That could be fun.
Or that.
And JC, what about you?
Well, I don't get to do anything fun because I have a costume to make. So
That's fun.
I'm stuck in this room every single night until NCC in the end of July. Yay!
Woohoo! Procrastination is your friend.
No, it's really not. It's really, really not.
Oh, well, I wish you all the best of luck, and I sincerely hope you kick ass at NCC.
Yeah, we are rooting for you.
Yay.
Yes.
And the other two from Norway, of course, but...
Of course.
Well, yes. Primarily for you, because we know you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's time to wrap it up. We are on overtime, as usual.
Yeah.
And before we go, I just want to take the time to say thank you to you, JC, for volunteering to come on the show. It's been really great, and if you ever want to come back, you are very, very welcome to do so.
Yes, you are.
You are awesome.
Thank you.
Extremely awesome.
So that's it for tonight. Next week, we will be back with a new show. I don't know what the theme for that one is yet, but it's on the list. I'll get back to you guys on it.
Drum roll.
Yeah. It's a secret.
We have our own Facebook page now, so
Yes,
you all
we
can
do.
go out and check it out there.
Yes. Follow the CosCast on Facebook, and follow Fandomily Cosplay on Facebook, and also follow me, Pixiedust Cosplay on Facebook, and
Enyassia.
Annabella.
And Jinky, who is a Destiny thing with blonde hair. Okay, see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.